Scaffolding display inline. Well, this exercise is just meant for you to go over and follow the instructions and just take note of what happens. Okay, so let's look at what this is. This is div main container. This is that blue thing, that blue box, and it just says hola inside the div. And then inside the div, there's three different boxes: container 1, container 2, and container 3. And they all have class of box and a class of box 1. So they can be classified as two different things. And then they have three different identifiers. When we look at our CSS file, we see that container 1 by ID, it's being called yellow, red, and purple. And if you belong to the box class, it's 100, 150. So these boxes are supposed to be 100, 150, 5 pixels margin and 5 pixels margin. And 5 pixels of padding. Now, it says change the width of the red box to 400 pixels. But I'll tell you what the main thing is. The main thing is this line right here. When we delete it and we run our code, what happens is that, the width is now 100 and the height is 150. But for some reason, when we say inline and we run our code, this height and width disappear. And that's what the first line says. Setting the display inline to a box is the same as removing the box width and height. So as soon as I say inline, you get rid of box width and height. And what's the div taking the shape of? It's taking the shape of whatever the contents is. If it says container 1, that's how big it's going to be. If it says container 2 or container 3, that's how long the div is going to be. And just to see that, if I add a bunch of E's to this container, you're going to see this container 1, this yellow, is going to increase. Okay, but we don't need to do that. Run our code. Now what does it say? It says change our box width to 400. Okay, so let's do that. Our red box to 400, so we do that. We say width 400 pix. And run the exercise. Did anything happen? No, because it has the inline. Inline gets rid of that. Now remove the display inline property. Okay. Let's remove it, like we did before, actually. Control Z. We remove it. We run it. Oh, we forgot to say pixels. 400 pixels. And we see that it did change. Now, let's play around with this. What if we make it a block? Well, that's the same thing as getting rid of it, right? Block is our default. What other attributes did we have? We had block inline. Let's try that. Was it called block inline? Or inline block? Oh, I forgot what it was called. Block inline CSS. Inline block. So let's call it inline block. Let's see what happens when we do that. Something happened here. I'm not too sure what, but the fact that container 3 is kind of pushed up. But it also puts it in inline block, keeps its width and height attributes. And that's it. That's it. That's all this exercise was.